Children, welcome back to your online biology class. I am Asha Santosh, your biology teacher. Hope all are safe at home. Here we are discussing about our second chapter, components of food. As we discussed before, we eat different varieties of food in our daily life. For preparing these all foods, we have to use different ingredients also. So these all ingredients contains special components which gives us energy. These special components are known as nutrients. There are 5 different types of nutrients. Which are they? Yes, they are carbohydrates, protein, fat, vitamins and minerals. Then why do we include different varieties of food items in our diet? Because different food items contains different nutrients. Each nutrient has its own function in our body. For example, carbohydrates and fats are the energy-giving nutrients. But we need not eat more fat because extra fat will store in our body to use later. If we store extra fat in our body, it leads to the condition obesity. Proteins are the body-building nutrient. Then vitamins and minerals are the protective food. They protect our body from diseases. Okay. In our previous class, we have discussed about carbohydrates. 2 types of carbohydrates are present in our food. They are starch and sugar. And we also discussed about the test for starch. Today, we are going to discuss about proteins and fats. As we discussed before, protein is the body building food and fat also an energy giving food, but we need not consume more fat while comparing with the carbohydrates because extra fat will store in our body. It will lead to the condition obesity. So we are going to do the test for protein and fats in this class.
Test food for protein. Before we start our experiment to test food for protein, let us first understand what is protein. Proteins are large molecules consisting of amino acids which our body and the cells in our body require to function properly. Our body structure functions, regulations of the body cells, tissues and organs cannot exist without proteins. The muscles, the skin, the bones and many other parts of the human body contain significant amount of protein. In fact, protein accounts for 20% of the total body weight. What are the major sources of protein? The major sources of vegetable protein are soybean, cereals, beans, and groundnuts. Major sources of animal protein are egg, fish, meat, and milk. Let us start our experiment to test the presence of protein in our food. Take a small quantity of mashed beans in a petri dish. Put it in a test tube and add some water. Add a few drops of copper sulfate solution to it with the help of a dropper. Then add a few drops of sodium hydroxide solution. What do you observe? The sample turns purple, which confirms the presence of protein in the food sample. Note: whenever protein reacts with copper sulfate and sodium hydroxide solution, it turns purple.
Children, sodium hydroxide is also known as caustic soda.
Test food for fat. Before we start our experiment to test food for fat, let us first understand what is fat. Fat is a nutrient essential for normal function of the body, and living is not possible without it. Not only does fat supply us energy, it also makes it possible for other nutrients to do their jobs. What are the major sources of fat? The major sources of fat obtained from plants are mustard oil, coconut oil, and dry fruits. Major sources of fat obtained from animals are butter, ghee, and cheese. Let us start our experiment to test the presence of fat in food. Take a small quantity of dry fruits, such as cashew nuts or almonds, in a petri dish. Rub it on a clean white paper. You will observe oily patches on the paper. Hold the paper against the light to see the oily and translucent patch clearly. The fat present in the food sample is what makes the paper oily and translucent.
Today we have discussed about proteins and fats, and we also discussed about the test for protein and fat. Hope all of you understood very well. Read the lesson and study the notes. Let's conclude today's session. Before that, let me remind you, drink plenty of water, eat healthy food, and also eat on time. Stay at home. We'll see you in our next class. Till then, goodbye and take care.